we have been missing within our sector has been knowledge gathering to influence. And also, one of the key elements that we brought out was, are we talking about green minerals or are we talking about critical minerals? And what is the difference, and does the difference matter in any way? Yet, the mining of either minerals is happening within my communities where young women and women are coming from and are impacted on. So, within this framework, I think we also have to understand that the essence of defining minerals as either green or critical has been more to do with bringing an answer to the climate issue and the climate change issue. Yekuti, we want to decarbonize our economies. And the moment you mention decarbonization of economies, what over from an ordinary young woman who is in that community, right? So which would also mean that literacy level of the literature we are bringing into the communities and taking away into the communities is in tandem with the realities that are on the ground. Ukaenda kubikita ike zvinezvi ndokumshakwangu wapedza kudya arobha dzako watenga vhini yako wobvunza vanhu kuti what is the purpose of bikita minerals. Anokwanisa ngokutaura kuti vari kumaina lithium kuti mabasa awanikwe, but that is not the primary reason why bikita minerals is in existence. Ukaenda ku Goromons the same, ukaenda ku Sabi the same, ukaenda ku Zulu the same, ukaenda ku Kamativ the same. Language iyoyo has been hidden away from the ordinary young women. So I think post this research, and I think Chenge you are here, is to make sure Kutizo, my communities understand why this mining is taking place within their communities and how they relate. Saka from an elite point of view, Kwatino versus my high office and Kusiruku get. No, we are mining my critical minerals and my green minerals for purposes of decarbonizing our economies so that we have got clean energy. Language here is visisike. Nemunu ariku muamvura iri mugodi uri contaminated. Right? So kana tripa level iyoyo, it means kuti the climate change nexus inofana kunge ichianswa ne critical or green mineral extraction is not being answered because vanhu vanofana kunge vachiparticipate in that whole value chain, they are being excluded. So I can't say the background, right, to the research inofanira kuti itiburitsire the reason why there is a boom for critical minerals or green minerals in Zimbabwe, right? Is it about decarbonizing and bringing in clean energy into Zimbabwe, or it's about making money and exploiting the already exploited people? Muribona, tikawana background iyoyo inotibatsira why then the labor regulations by the Chinese are so poor, are not user friendly. Inotibatsira why they would prefer to contaminate our waters against profit. Because chavari kuendera ichocho, it's profit and not decarbonizing and bringing out clean energy into what? Into our communities. Muribona manje. So once tadaro, then totsvaga kuti izvo munhu anodefine what a green mineral or what a critical mineral ndiani, and green to who and critical to who. Kana nhasi tikavhara migodhi yedu yese yema-critical minerals, who suffers? I need an answer.
The capital will suffer.
The capital will suffer. Which means Gutizo, my Chinese Arumaina, they will feel the heat more than isusu because tagara tisingatombozuti chinonzi lithium chi. Murikuona manje. Saka tinofanira kuti pa preamble yedu and definition into the research, tinofanira kuita definition of terms in terms of how they are contextualized in our reality. Yekuti critical minerals are not critical to us. They are critical to the investor because they are feeding into the value chain isine nesu. Saka mukaenda kuboera where they are complaining about.
Can you say that again?
The critical minerals are critical to who? Are they critical to us, the ordinary people, or they are critical to the investor who benefit from the value chain? Right? So at the end of the day, when we kuboera kwasa kutizo, road here, road anonzani, akaba JB gorere, kangai, right? Zvimakangai zviya zvataimbofa nazvo tichienda kwaMurambinga uchienda kuBeshna hakusisina because mine yakauya ikatigirdira road. So they will celebrate a new road. They will not know that actually it's about extraction iri kutora minerals outside of Zimbabwe. Saka the investor needs a better road than iwewe community. So this is the conundrum that we need to justify, because we don't want our research to be eaten as if it's a research on young women and mining. Kabisir. No, we want our research to zero in on green minerals and the effects of what? Of the critical minerals on young women. Murubon. Because then it also tells us about regional and best practices within the region. You would realize that a country like South Africa has come up with its just energy transition strategy, which Zimbabwe doesn't have. And yet Zimbabwe is number 5 or number 6 in the world of mining critical minerals. Yet we don't have a just energy transition. You know, support that mining. So once it got out, then to start something more documents, like if you then look within the South African document, or if you look into the Botswana document, the countries have decided to define their own critical minerals that are not defined by others as critical. So in Zimbabwe it's chrome, right? And chrome is being mined. But Zimbabwe has not defined critical mineral, chrome as a critical mineral. Yet chrome it is when you look at what? Near the energy. So ndopandoti titarise kuti izvo kana tikazotarisa magaps iwayo tozotarisa kuti saka kana tichisa nyaya dzema-critical minerals, nyaya dzataurwa dze-energy poverty, right? What is our stake yekumeka sure kuti we benefit from those minerals so that at least we've got energy access? Because at the present moment tinokwanisa kuti izvo ngatite value addition. I think pakabhanwa raw exportation raw lithium pakanzi munofanira kutanga maita value addition muri panzvimbo ani ndinobva kumasvingo and just this past weekend ndaidriva kuenda kubhikiti ndakaovertaka ndofunga about 7 matrucks akananga kubhikita minerals simply because goromons cannot add value, but yet takataura nzanzi goromons kwane inonzi lithium salt or whatever it is. So we don't know all those things and ask ourselves kuti izvo saka chembere kugoromons inonzwisisa here kuti salt yelithium chi and kana ikanzi salt inotengwa nani uye zvine mari inobva kupi. Saka we have got a neoliberal ndokubasa kwenyu, right? We have got a neoliberal economic framework iri ku-exclude women and oppress women more using tools language yatisingazwisisi. So kana tichitarisa about critical minerals and green minerals, we are looking at one of those tools that is being used to exclude women and young women from economic development and anticipation. Because whatever is being benefited has got absolutely nothing to do with ordinary young women. Saka kana takumeka sure kuti we build our roadmap beyond the research. Takufanira kuti understand kuti who is defining what and who is calling out what. Ese migodi kumainwa lithium ikezvezvo migodi yakagara iripo. What was happening before? They were mining other minerals. So ukaenda kuchakari kwaimainwa tin, ukaenda kubhikita kwaimainwa petalite, right? And ichiri kumainwa it doesn't mean yakapera pakawanikwa lithium. Saka what is happening within the value chain of other minerals that are contained mudombo rine lithium? Who is accounting for that? And particularly about tax evasions, tax havens anopiwa ma-Chinese. How come the Chinese can easily get away with murder? And yet ma-Zimbabweans akaita the same behavior anosungwa. The government is more prepared kutumidzira riot kurova vanhu community than kurova ma-Chinese ari kutinetsa vanhu. Why is it like that? So we also need to look at the legislation and the policy gaps that are being brought out at that level. And harusikwitika ku gold, harusikwitika ku platinum, harusikwitika ku copper, zvirikuitika ku lithium. Why lithium? Because ndo pane interest. Zimbabwe payakabhana kuti haicha export lithium, the very same day yakabhana maprices elithium akabva akwira, which means kuti Zimbabwe is a critical player at a global level, right? Saka ikezve Zimbabwe ikazotizvo no taakudzoka pamarket on higher prices. So who is benefiting, and the benefits of my communities are anonzwika sei? Saka when we are drawing out this whole process memo, it's about also trying to look at kana tichitaura about the sources of funding that is supposed to support young women in my communities. Inofanira kunge ichibva kupi, and inofanira kunge ichisupportwa sei, because we already have got a highly taxed community, right? And kana tikatarisa ma-critical minerals atinawo ekezvinezvi muZimbabwe, we have got copper, and we want to check with what is happening kumangura, right, which has reopened. We have got chrome, and we want to check on what is happening kuside remunamberengwa nekunana zvishavani, because those are running. We have got our lithium, right? We have got our nickel iri kubhindura. We want to understand all those things, but ma-minerals wayo, they are not being talked about, because this is where the looting is hiding. Murupaona manje. Saka let's put all the critical minerals on the table and say, these are the critical minerals that we have. This is what is happening ku nickel, ku bindura. This is what is happening ku copper, ku mangura. Because we can't talk about issues of just energy transition. Isiri inclusive just energy transition. Murupaona. Saka vanhu vari kuma office anotonhorera vanongotaura about nyaya dze-just energy transition without making it inclusive, so that it also includes people with disability. Yes. It also includes women, right? Kwete kungoti tingora just energy transition, iyo isiri just. So that's the element yatinofunga kuti izvo EJ can only make a powerful impact in this conversation kana ikakwanisa kuita breakdown right to the last dot why critical minerals are the new albatross around our necks.